Hello, I'm so pumped to be here. No, really, I am. And I'll tell you why. We're making one of my favorite things in the entire world, banana bread. Banana bread, banana bread. Look at how many bananas I have. This calls for banana bread. Let me get a clip. I love banana bread because of one thing and one thing only. It is kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? What's that phrase? It's foolproof. Even if you mess up, it still comes out great. It really does. I've never messed up banana bread, and you've seen my cooking. That's what we're gonna make today. The last time I made this banana bread, I didn't have enough flour, so I used oats, and it was so delicious. It created like a very fun texture. So I'm kind of gonna do that. So yeah, that's what we're gonna make. Come along with me. Sorry, there's a lot of shit happening right now. I'm trying to get this done before Lola wakes up. Okay, come along with me. Yay! The first thing I'm gonna do is get my little loaf pan, wherever that may be. Found it. I am going to show you. I'm just gonna cut it to like the length of the loaf pan and make sure that fits. I'm gonna spray it with some coconut oil spray and then put my parchment down. Set that aside. I need a bowl. I need like a bigger bowl. So I'm going to first combine all my dry ingredients together, and then I'm gonna do all the wet ingredients, and then we're gonna combine them. All of the dry stuff is 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and that's the dry ingredients. But remember, hold on. Okay, we figured that out. Put you right here. So because I want to incorporate some oats so that it has like a fun texture, I'm going to start with a cup of flour. Okay. Okay, that's 1 cup of flour. I'm going to eyeball the cinnamon. That feels right to me. And 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda. This is half a teaspoon, so we're going to do 2 of these. 1, 2. It also calls for salt if you're using unsalted butter, but I use salted butter in my baked goods, so sue me. Just combining this so everything's incorporated. I am going to add the oats once the wet and the dry are mixed together, because you really can just play around with the texture. You feel it out. How wet is the batter? How dry is the batter? Setting this aside. The next thing we're going to do is it calls for half a stick of butter. So I'm going to melt this on the stove top because I don't have a microwave. I'm melting the butter first because it also calls for eggs. And famously, if you combine hot butter and eggs together, the eggs scramble. And don't act like that hasn't happened to you before. Happened to everybody. Happened to everybody. While that butter melts, I'm going to take the bananas and start mashing. It calls for 4 bananas. I have pretty small bananas, and also 4 already just like ripped off the freaking, actually 5 ripped off. Oh, sick. All of them ripped off. All of them ripped off. Who gets that many bananas? That's insane. I'm not a monkey. This is why Instacart like sucks ass for real. Whatever. Also, I know that these are not that ripe. I know they're supposed to be like brown, almost black, but I'm not eating this many bananas. Also, did you know that bananas constipate you? I didn't. I found that out pretty recently. Who knew that? Not me. Giving it to my daughter every single morning. I'm like, why is she constipated? I'm starting with 4 bananas. Let's see like how much this really yields. I'm watching my butter, don't worry. Okay, let's mash these bananas, shall we? In a time lapse. I'm adding an extra banana. Bananas have been mashed. I feel like sometimes you have banana bread and you can barely even taste the banana. Maybe that's because they're a little too ripe. Like the sweetness of the banana takes over as opposed to the flavor of the banana. Is it because I don't have super ripe bananas right now? Yes, that is why. Okay, my butter is done. It's like was getting to the point of foaming, and it's kind of brown. Not super brown butter, but it's pretty, like it has that like toasty smell, which I think is kind of fun. Brown your butter. So we have the bananas mashed. We have our butter melted. I'm not going to add that quite yet. I'm going to add the eggs first to kind of mix them in. while the butter cools. It calls for 2 eggs at room temp, but I don't have that. 1, 2. Whisk these eggs, incorporate them into my bananas. It also calls for a teaspoon of vanilla, which we are just gonna, that feels right. Banana bread. Choose your own adventure, you know, like even though it's baking, it's really not that serious. Banana bread should be fun. Like make sure you're putting the right amount of baking soda in relation to the like flour and whatever ratios. But in terms of like what you want to add to it, walnuts, pecans, chocolate chips, oats, throw caution to the wind and have fun. The last wet ingredient is, drum roll please, yogurt. Yogurt. Or sour cream, apparently, like it's the same thing. I don't like sour cream. I think it's the name sour cream that I don't like. So we're using yogurt. Calls for 1/3 cup, which I don't have that. How many tablespoons is 1/3 cup? 5.333 tablespoons is 1/3 cup. If you're using yogurt, make sure to really mix it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.33. We're having fun. Mix that in. Now I'm going to slowly incorporate my hot butter. You have to do it slow because it's temping it, right? A little bit, and then the rest. That is some wet batter right here. We have the wet ingredient. We have half of the dry ingredients. We have not incorporated the other half of the flour because we're gonna put oats in there. I'm actually gonna do now because this batter is so wet that I think having a full cup of oats is going to be perfect. So I just added oats. I'm gonna incorporate that. You don't have to do this. If you want to just do regular and not add the oats, just do 2 cups of flour. Like don't do this part. But I will say it does, like banana bread has a tendency to be, if you do it right and it's moist, it can kind of be a little boring in terms of texture, unless you're adding chocolate chips or nuts, which I think is wrong. There, I said it. It's wrong. You shouldn't add anything nutty to your banana bread. And I would say you shouldn't add anything like a chocolate chip to your banana bread, but 2 people in my life have proven me wrong on that. One is Claudia Hove. The other is Danielle Sespi from The Big Brunch on Max. The first time I felt Lola, my baby, kick was after eating this contestant on the show The Big Brunch. Her name's Danielle Sespi. If you don't know her, if you didn't watch the show, she has an incredible bakery, like not store, what do you call it? Whatever. She sells baked goods. She ships them nationwide. It's called The Hungry Gnome. It is, everything that she makes is so good. Also, it makes for really, really great gifts. She does like Mother's Day stuff. She has Father's Day stuff, whatever. But she made her like famous banana bread on the show. And you know, after they finished baking, she left a little piece for the producers, and I had a piece, and it was the first time I felt my baby kick. So I have like this very big attachment to her banana bread, and it had chocolate hazelnut in it, which I normally would never. I'd be like, you're crazy. I don't like that. I think banana bread sometimes should be pure. That is my only exception. That banana bread, and then my friend Claudia, who makes a killer banana bread. Shout out. So yeah, all that to say, if you're not like that, if you're not putting fun nuts or chocolate chips and stuff in your banana bread, and you do want some texture, add some oats. How many times have I said that? It's like, shut up already. This looks great to me. This has like cake-like batter consistency. It's still wet, but I don't know. I think this is good. This feels good. Obviously, try your batter. Oh, I haven't added sugar. I was like, why does that kind of not taste good? Wow. So sorry about that. This calls for 3/4 cup of brown sugar. I did like a 1/2 cup already, but I'm just breaking up the rest, which would be a 1/4 cup. Honestly, I'm glad I forgot the sugar because it's going to show you how foolproof this is. This is still going to come out good, I think, but it is. I'm glad I messed up. It is so good. Okay, let's put it in the pan, right? Last thing I'm going to do before getting it into the oven is add some sugar on top to give it like a fun little crust. This is going in the oven for at least an hour, at least. But I'm going to put it for 45 minutes and check on it. Set a timer for 45 minutes. And now we wait. It's been 45 minutes. I just checked the banana bread. I stuck a knife in it. It still came out a little wet, but like not that much. And remember, residual heat is a thing. So what I'm gonna do is turn off the oven, which by the way, it's at 350. I don't know if I said that. I'm gonna turn off the oven and set a timer for 5 minutes and then take it out. Trust the process. Set a timer for 5 minutes. I'll see you in 5. My timer just went off. That looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna let that sit for kind of a while. I would say maybe like 30 minutes, and then we'll cut into it. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. We have a special guest here. Would you like to say something? Okay, not quite sure what the mic is yet. We're gonna cut into this thing and we're gonna do a taste test with the ultimate taste tester. What's your favorite toy of all time? Ball? We're in a pointing phase. Okay, let's cut this thing. Ball. Let me show you over here. I mean, look at this. Gorgeous. Stunning. It probably hasn't been long enough, to be honest, but it's going to be so good hot, so we're going to cut it anyways. It's scary to hold a knife in a baby. I don't recommend it. Let's cut this. I'm going to show you a beautiful cut. Which way should we cut it, Lola? Cut middle? Let's cut end. Let's cut middle? Let's cut middle. Okay, it's a little wet. That's okay. We're just going to do a chunkaroonie. Look at that. We're going to just do a couple chunkies. Wait at least like 45 minutes to an hour to let this thing cool because it's going to set up better. The yogurt in this makes it really moist, which is good for when it's like sitting out for a day or two. You want that moistness. But for right now, when it's still very hot, we're just going to get into it. We're going to try it. That's delicious, but we're going to finish it with some flaky sea salt over top. Highly recommend with some salted honey butter as well. Simply don't have the time to do right now. I'm going to give you a piece right now. She just keeps pointing at it because she wants more. I think that's a sign of approval. Well, there you have it. It's delicious. It's moist. It's delicious. You can taste the banana. Foolproof. Thank you for watching. I don't know. Oh, Lola, no. Do you want more banana bread? Yeah. Okay. Bye.